Hello, everybody, and welcome to another fantastic recap of one of the great college survivors, Scotty Survivor. I'm Naomi. I am joined by Lee. Lee, how are you doing on this fine Easter Sunday?
Tired. It's 1:30 in the morning.
Right. Yes. Easter Sunday
It's Monday over here.
Easter Monday. Well, Lee, we're not alone. We're joined by the two fantastic hosts of Scotty Survivor. We have Shane. Shane, hello. Welcome back.
Hello. Long time no see. And by long time, I mean not long.
A week.
And we are also joined by Govind. Govind, how's it going?
Going well. Very tired from current Sky Survivor stuff, but season 2's coming out, and season 2's I'm loving every episode that's out so far.
Well, we're happy to hear it. But I heard, late minute edition, we have a special guest on the pod just for a brief second, Govind. Can you give us the fantastic introduction?
So the queen of this episode herself wanted to make a bit of an appearance.
Hi, Nadia.
Hi, Naomi. Hi, Lee.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Hi.
This is so exciting. My winner pick. Don't say anything. But I am so excited that you're here.
Honored, by the way. I'm honored.
We want to know just anything that you're feeling watching this episode back, because I'm sure this was a tumultuous time for you playing the game, but I think to see the kind of wacky choices that your teammates were making, how do you feel getting to see it all back?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I've been feeling bad about this specific vote ever since it happened. Playing double agent and really just blindsiding Laura specifically and everyone, just telling lots of lies. I think I mentioned in a confessional that maybe didn't make it, that I felt so bad. I usually don't lie.
There.
And so
it's there. It's just in the next episode.
Okay, this episode. But yeah, I felt super bad afterwards, just deceiving everyone, because that's usually not me. But it was, it's the game. It was kind of fun that I got to do that.
I can't believe. Lee, what is on your mind? What should we ask Nadia?
God, so many questions. I mean, what made you want to buy 20 fake idols before the season even began?
I think I got inspired. So I only watched 2 Survivor seasons. I watched one of actual Survivor and one of Survivor Michigan. And I forgot that guy's name. It might have been Andrew or something in Survivor Michigan. He bought fake idols and he never got to use them. So I was like, oh, that might be interesting to try and use. I didn't think I was going to actually use them. I just kind of bought it beforehand. And the opportunity arose to use it. And I was like, this might be perfect for it. So let's try to use it.
That is so funny.
If you ever get a chance...
Go ahead, Lee. Go ahead.
If you ever have a chance, check out Survivor Syracuse 2, the first episode. There's someone named Hannah Dolan that you would probably enjoy watching.
He did mention her.
Nadia, are you happy to see this all play out, or is it stressful to watch this Survivor back?
I was honestly laughing most of the time watching it, just comments I make and seeing what other people say also. I mean, it's a good time. It's a good time. It was just great, honestly. I did not think that was going to be in that much power and during that vote. So that was definitely a position that I thought that I just would never be into.
And who, if you can remember, you're on the Pink Tribe and you've just voted out Lauren. Who were you closest with in this tribe? Was it Lauren and she messed it up, or was it Ale?
I was definitely closest to Ale at that point. I think from episode 1, he did mention the core 2. And there was a snippet of me, I think, afterwards that also was do I need to trust him? Is he trying to also backstab me later on? But I began to trust Ale a lot more. And I think what he was telling me about Lauren, it made sense in my mind. And so I think that's why also I ended up more siding with the guys, as much as I hate to say it, siding with them rather than the girls. But in terms of future gameplay and just in the long term, it made sense to kind of do that vote in that way.
Fantastic. Shane, is there anything else that we should talk about with Nadia while we have her? The star of the episode.
Your experience
truly.
with the puppet master.
Oh,
That's coming. That's coming. Don't spoil it, Nadia.
I mean, as you can see in episode 2, or even in episode 1, the puppet master was getting on my nerves, and so I tried to troll the puppet master a little bit. I think I was just trying to be.
Were you surprised on who it was without revealing who?
Oh my gosh!
Say it again.
Were you surprised on who it was without saying who it was?
Yes, I'll just keep it simple.
I will say that the next 3 episodes are very low in Puppet Master content. In fact, I don't know if there might be like little like snippets, but really not much. So
I think next episode seems to be funny also.
Yeah. I can't wait. And I'm wondering, Nadia, like playing with Tina, especially in these first 2 episodes, like were you guys competitive? Were you like texting each other like your tribe's going down? Like was it more just like, oh God, like how do we pretend like we don't know each other? What was the initial like relationship between you guys when you started playing?
Yeah, I mean, initially, like I seen episode 1, like I was shocked that she was also in it. I was like, oh man, my gameplay might need to change here. And I think I was trying to cover like tracks also. I would try to like delete some comments that she would put on my Instagram and really cover our tracks. But episode 3 will reveal it all. But we thought we were doing it like pretty well. I think we were pretty smart, but that didn't go as planned. So I think it'll be pretty funny. Like,
yeah, I'm looking at it as we speak.
Common theme throughout the season.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't want to hold you up, but is there anything else you want to talk about at the moment?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what I can say. I feel like there's so much to say, but I'm afraid something's going to slip up. And so I'm just going to keep it at that.
Okay. Well, you can watch. We'll talk about you more so you can watch this. We can hear us talk about you without you. But also, I'm very excited. This has been so much fun, and you've caused so much chaos in 2 episodes. It's insane.
I'm glad you guys like it. It was great. It was a joy to be in.
I can't wait. Well, guys, should we talk about the actual episode? Is it time now to get into the puppet masterdom of it all? All right. Well, Shane, what a trip this episode was. As I said on our Discord, join us on Discord. These tribes, 2 tribes of 6, have delivered more in 2 episodes, 2 seasons of Survivor as of right now, 41 and 42. Don't hold a candle to these lunatics. Were you, just in general, surprised to see how out of control this vote got, like, and how sort of nutty it all became?
Not for 1 minute, Naomi. Not for 1 minute. Not with this tribe. No. When we made the Zaman tribe, I said, "Fucking hell, this is gonna be a disaster." And yeah, I always kind of knew that it was going to be bad. However, it happened. Did I expect a triple tie? No, I can't say I did for the first vote of their like season, but they delivered. And I mean, like I said this in the Discord too. It's like it's kind of disappointing to see like the fact that we are. It was seen in the preview. Like we're splitting them up. But what we got from the next episode of a new team of 8 was even, I mean, like, just like, I don't even know how to say it, but more baffling on like a gameplay level of just like what on earth is happening. So yeah, they're just a bunch of whole cast of freaks. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I said it like the entire time that this season delivers. And it doesn't always deliver necessarily in like these kind of crazy vote counts every single week, but like just the way that they go about the game and the strategy and like the messiness, the true messiness of like spilling and leaking and ratting, it's just too much. It's too much. It makes my job as an editor 10 times harder to follow a consistent story because breaking this down into something that makes sense for the viewer is like super difficult with this level of like complication because this was the watered down version of what happened. Like this like this is 10 times less than what I had. So that just tells you like how crazy they are.
Govind, I mean, I was watching this episode, and every time I was like, "Oh, it can't get more insane than it's going to get," it would. Do you have a favorite moment from the episode that like where shit just went off the rails, and you're like, "I can't believe this is happening, and we got this on TV," you know?
I think it's less so that moment of like, I can't believe we got this on TV, and more so the idea of like, what I was most surprised by was Henry being able to suss out independently that it was a fake idol that Lauren had, just like by himself. And every time I would see, like, I also just love the weirdness of Henry's confessionals, because he either looks like he's some sort of like Sith Lord, like hunched over in like complete darkness, or he's standing like behind a huge like wall on like a Zoom call, and you're wondering why he looks like the size of like a Lego figurine for like no reason. But I think it was just super wild getting all of Nadia's craziness on camera. I think watching her hide that fake idol, and then watching somebody get that fake idol, then watching somebody use that fake idol, but not only on themselves, on someone else to try and save someone else on the vote. Like, there's so many layers to all of this that I did not see coming.
I have to say too, just so you know, I had to take a little creative liberty because the first episode was just too long. That actually, Lauren finding the fake idol actually happened before Anna got voted out, but there just was no more time in the episode to like kind of make that happen. Like, it was the same day that Anna got voted out, so it felt fine to push it over. But yeah, like to have all of this happen in the first 4 days of this game was just like, what the fuck?
I mean, okay, let's just start at the beginning, and we will get to the puppet master. Lee, the beginning of this episode, we are seeing the ramifications of Anna going home. And unlike you, some people are sad about her going home, and they thought she was so nice, and they felt terrible about it. I thought that this was very funny to see how emotional some people are getting, and how out of the loop clearly people like Xavier and Nikhil were. Lee, what did you think?
Well, first off, the fact that they were told we're voting Anna, and they're still like, oh my god, how did this happen? Come on, people. And I also just find it funny, they're all talking about Jude, like Jude's not there.
Yes.
Kachov was like, oh, if
fuck?
Jude had an idol, and if she played it, and she's like, I'm right here, hello. Why didn't you play your idol? Because I don't have one.
There was that hilarious moment where Vivian was like, well, yeah, if you had your idol, you would have played it, and then like, so I guess you didn't play it, and she was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I don't have an idol, but like, she never really says that, so it's even funnier. Like, she just can't figure out how to tell them the truth. It's incredible. I love Jude so much. Jude is so sweet, considering that like she was potentially going home, and then Anna went home and said, and she's like, oh, I'm kind of sad about that. You're like, you girl, it could have been you.
So one thing I'm going to add is that because of the ramifications of the puppet master, we don't actually reveal who's finding the idols for now. So do you have a prediction for who has the Dorit one?
So you're telling us at this point in time, somebody has indeed found the blue idol?
Somebody has found all 3 idols, yes.
Oh god, is this what you... all right, hang on.
All 3 as in all were found, or is this like a Maryland major conflict situation?
All 3 were found. I'm not saying by the same person, but all 3 idols were found by day 3.
Okay.
It's got to be someone with hustle. That's the
I don't know why, but I feel
again,
like
I'm a Rungeon truther again, because I feel like Rungeon has the hustle. They want to be out there playing the game, you know? Or maybe they're just not shooting anything and we're not seeing it yet. But I also think that maybe shit, I don't know. I think maybe it's Ale, and this is a whole huge ruse on the Pink Tribe, but that's like 10 levels conspiracy.
Now, if it was Ale and he knew like Nadia had the real idol, or at least knew that Lawrence was fake, he would not go so hard and make this huge move that he made when really he did nothing. So I don't think it's him, no matter how convincing. I feel like Ricky has an idol. I feel like he'd be the one to find an idol. I think I'm just thinking like, who's a stereotypical player to find an idol? And then like Ricky pops into my head. Ricky or Xavier.
Yeah, all the women
And
are
I
too
don't think
busy
anyone
back
on the green.
in the dorms cooking. They don't have time to look for idols.
Yeah, too stereotypical. And I don't think anyone in the Green Tribe has found one because I don't think any of them were trying. I know we saw like Abby and Haley one time just out there, but none of them seem like they're really going for looking for an idol. Unless the reason why Tina's not talking about anyone's secret because she has all the idols.
Tina, that'd be great. Oh man, if Tina had all of them, I'd laugh my ass off.
Well, we know that Nadia has the real Zaman one, so
Yes.
that I don't know why I confirmed that.
Thank
but
you
I
for
did.
confirming that.
You're welcome. So there's only 2 that are mysteries.
Yay!
Well, I love the tease. I love this sort of like, when is it? The reveal. We love a reveal, so like it's okay. I'll enjoy this while I can. I also want to talk about Xavier a little bit because I'm fascinated by the way that he's playing the game because I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Like, because he's sitting there saying he knows that Anna's getting, like, he's been told that they're thinking about voting out Anna. They're all talking into Jude's face, and he's just sitting there with Nikhil, like, damn, what just happened? And it's like, don't talk to Nikhil. Or I guess you should say that, like, Xavier sees that the pairs are Ricky and Vivian, and then him and Nikhil and Jude sort of in the middle. Go talk to Jude. What are you doing? Get out of there. Let's hustle. Like, that was, I think, my big takeaway this episode. I don't know if Xavier maybe did more that I'm forgetting, or if he just didn't really do anything that was captured. But my thought was, if you can identify that you're in the middle, go talk to Jude. Send her a text in the Discord and get her over right away and talk to her. Govind, how do you feel about Xavier's performance from last week?
Yeah, I think Xavier is kind of just falling forwards from what I see in like episode 2, because I think it was a Vivian confessional that really highlighted this for me, and that Vivian's talking about what just happened in the last vote, but it's saying like, hey, the people I want to still work with are Xavier and Ricky, which Xavier is like not doing a ton to result in that in his grouping there, but still in like Vivian's mind, Xavier's part of those plans. So where actually like his loyalties lie, he's telling us that he cares more about Nikhil than like anyone else right now, but is that the best move for him? Is that not the best move for him? I think that's something that needs to be watched out for sure.
Mm-hmm. Lee, what did you think of Xavier?
Um,
Not the eye roll. He's just trying his best. He fell. Remember, he fell. He's had a hard time.
Yeah, maybe he fell a bit too hard and was like lost a couple of brain cells. I think kind of like what you said. It was just like, if you know that Jude's in the middle, why not try and get her on your side? Maybe because he knows like, oh, I voted Jude, so Jude's probably not going to work with me. And pretty much everyone is saying like, oh, Xavier's in our alliance, so maybe that's probably why he's not like really doing anything. It's like, everyone's telling me I'm in the group, so maybe I'm fine.
What baffles me the most is that Ricky and Vivian are like, oh, we just voted with Jude. We just saved her. Oh, but she should be next. No, you have a majority. What the hell?
I mean,
We're going to use you for this one vote.
This is the tribe where I'm kind of sad that you guys are swapping next episode, because if they had lost again, it would have been a fucking disaster, and it would have been so funny. It'd have been like people tripping over themselves to get themselves voted out. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Shane, you know all about tripping yourself over, right?
Yeah, I do.
Is this a new thing now? Somebody falls over each episode?
Lee, it happened in season 2. The first episode of season 4, I go to throw a freaking tennis ball, fall flat on my face. So it's a trend.
Oh my god. Okay. Let us talk about the Green Tribe for a little bit, because they are staying safe. Brandy has nothing really to do. But things are brewing. I love Ethan so much. Ethan is so funny this episode. I love his like Libra assessment, but also I think that he is actually doing a very good job of integrating himself into this tribe, and I think that people want to talk to Ethan and want to sort of be a part of what he's got going on, because it feels like maybe everybody else is a little too out in the wind, if I'm sort of looking at everything correctly. And Ethan's like the stable person amongst this group of, you know, people who are all over the place, especially Miss Abby. Let me stir up drama for no reason with no truth behind it, Abby. And Lee, I mean, talk to me, please, about this this opening sequence we get. Lee, what did you think of the green tribe and Abby?
Me. I
said Lee. I said you.
Oh, I couldn't hear my name. I thought you said, can you explain what was happening? Oh god. Abby's just like convinced that Joe's seen Survivor, and then you have Joe just asking like this stupidest questions ever. And kind of proving my assessment, and it's like, he kind of seems like he's just gonna be a boring player, and I'm kind of right.
Oh no. Sorry.
Yeah, this episode's a show, so I was right about more things. Sorry, Joe, you seem fine,
sure
but you're
yet.
also kind of dull.
Don't be so sure yet.
Maybe Joe's got a real
And you just
secret knowledge base of Survivor that he's just really taking right now.
Yeah. Also, FUE on the Libra assessment, you are correct, but still, as a Libra myself.
I think it was just so funny to watch Joe and Abby kind of take digs at each other. Like, I don't know, they're just like, Abby is just so. This is kind of what we meant preseason by like Abby is so like out there. Like she says things, and you're like, I don't know where you're basing your opinions off of, but they're just really fun.
Abby is so funny, like the weird sort of like Sherlock Holmes attempt she's trying to make of like, I'm gonna learn more about like, and the thing is, like, the instinct isn't wrong. Like, we've seen a lot of great moments come from like people talking to roommates and roommates accidentally letting slip like things in College Survivor, but this is not one of them. This is not one of the great all-time College Survivor, you know, lies and fallacies. This is just poor Joe being his roommate lying, basically. And all I can say is Joe's roommate for All Stars at this point. Shane, I guess, is there anything else to this? Like, did you ever figure out what exactly was said to Abby that sent her on this path?
Not really. I think it was just like a big misunderstanding, and I think part of this really had to come back from Ethan of like being suspicious of Joe from the beginning, and just like kind of having this like weird like thought about him. And so I think that kind of just manifested into like everybody, because like Ethan was at the center, and at least in my opinion, of Verandy in these first two episodes. And so, I mean, not that we've seen them much really, but you know, as much as we've seen them up until this point, Ethan was really central. So if Ethan's saying it, it must be true. You know what I mean? And then Abby kind of just, I don't know, Abby, she's just so funny. She just spirals. You'll see more Abby spiraling.
Oh my god. Oh man. Govind, what else is there to talk about with the Green Tribe this episode? Like, what were you a big sort of like fan of seeing this all play out again? This messy.
I think
they're messy. They don't vote.
Yeah.
They're messy.
I'm a big fan of Haley and Haley's analogies. I think that Haley is like such a good storyteller. She's extremely funny in the way that she just views the game. And I don't think people are giving her like game wise right now like enough credit as to like the relationship she's making and the people she's talking to. And it's clear that the Bean Squad is the group on this group. But like beyond that, what does that mean for like a swap or something, right? So I'm just waiting for more content from like once the Green Tribe dissipates, then you get to see them in their full force. Once like they're all on these new swap tribes, and you get to like see how funny each of them are individually with their own confessionals.
This Green Tribe, I can't wait. And Tina, like,
Does
Tina is
exist?
so funny.
I think Tina is by far one of the most like funny Survivor players, by also not being active. Like, she's so funny for how inactive she is. Like, she just kills me with how funny she is. Like, it kills me. So she's active, but she's not. You know what I mean? Like, she's not talking to people, but she's so active in like her own game.
It's like it's all happening inside her head. Like, she's just creating this fantasy of playing Survivor, but not talking to anybody. Well, I have to say, I love this challenge. This is something I've always wanted to do on Survivor New York, is this challenge where you have to remember shit, because the person who fucks it up you're always gonna be so mad at them, because all it is listening. It's nothing about physical ability. It's just like, can you pay attention to what I'm about to say, or can you articulate something to me really well? The Ricky and Martine, or the Becky and Martine just fucking sent me. So let's talk about it. It's a memory challenge. Ethan uses his active listening. Shane eats shit. It's great. There's so many highlights to this.
Martine and Beverly was a big one.
Beverly.
I just every time, because I was running and filming them the whole time, and I specifically was following Dorit. And every time it started with Xavier, who just for the love of God can't remember Marty, which just kills me because he's like in the humanities, so it's like that's like part of, like, he's not a STEM kid, like he listens, he writes, like this is like, you know, so he's messed up, and then all of them like go through it, and I'm just like, God, they're gonna lose again, and like it's a mess.
This is a fun challenge. I like these types of challenges where it's like actually creative.
Yeah, why did you guys do this to them? Why? Who thought of this goddamn story?
I think it was me, because I had seen this kind of done before in an org, and I said, well, let's see what happens if we bring it to like a real life situation where it's like you're not just looking at a screen, or like you have to like remember this, like, well, like either like running to somebody, or like let's see like how the pressure builds like in real time. I don't know. I thought it was different. It's not like we had just done the super physical challenge. We didn't really have a lot of like practice doing in-person challenges yet. We also were still restricted by, you know, the university and COVID. So we had to come up with some creative ways. And like you'll see in the next episode, it's the scavenger hunt. So like there's a lot of different like that you'll see. Yeah, like this challenge where we have to like really play to like what we are able to do with COVID.
I think this challenge is like a producer's dream. It doesn't involve a lot of planning on our part beyond just like coming up with the story itself. And it's so involved, and everyone gets to really play their own like fair share. And it's a challenge that I think is also visually really entertaining, because you just see people like running back and forth, people like messing up the story. And it's the sort of thing that you can kind of play along with yourself at home too, which I think is a big part of watching this sort of thing, where like I can't play along with like Abby missing a tennis ball throw a million times over unless I really want to enact it myself. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
I really like Nikhil. Nikhil like is losing his mind when Jude is trying to convey things. It's like, what does that mean? It's like, I don't fucking know, man. Like, this is the end of the line. What are you gonna do? I also really appreciated that like the people who were the anchor were really sharp. Like Vivian like had so much down, and just like the Vivian to Xavier pipeline just crumbled. And I was so shocked that they didn't lose. I was really surprised. Not to mention, I think that the challenge is really fun, but getting to watch everybody sort of interact with each other. Everybody has a different learning style and a different way of communicating, and like it all comes together to form complete chaos. And Shane, you somehow chose the brightest jacket of all time to wear for this challenge. Nobody was going to hit you with their car, that's for sure.
I've heard that like maybe 12 times this week. Like every that's the first thing people say to me about the episode. Not anything about the vote. Shane, your jacket was so goddamn bright. Well, sorry about it.
And what's on your mask?
It's a Manchester United logo. Yeah.
It looked like skulls for a second. I was like, wow, Goth King. Like, here we go. But I'm just gonna boo Man U. All right.
For me, what did it was Henry's answers. When he knew he was wrong, he would just make something up like Klaus.
Henry's so funny. The way he talks about losing this challenge kills me. I love him.
If you don't know the answer, at least make it entertaining.
I respect that.
Well, I did this one maths test. You know how in maths for some reason they tell you All right, here's the formula. How did you get this answer? I did not remember how, so I just said cause maths. It's like, it's technically right. I got the answer because of maths.
Because of math.
Also,
Yeah.
them calling
My teacher
Lauren
commented.
slippery bitch. Love it.
Say that again.
Lauren calling
Why?
us slippery bitch.
Oh my god, Lauren's an icon. Like, she'll be sorely missed by me because she wasn't great at the game, but goddamn was she entertaining. So let's get to the pink tribe. Let's get to Zaman.
Yeah.
Someone calls it Zaman, which, like, the way that people are pronouncing Zaman is so questionable. But Zaman loses in a very, very sort of nail-biting tiebreaker round, and the wheels start turning. So back to the puppet master, right? For anyone who, like, maybe forgot, Nadia finds the idol, and Nadia puts a fake idol in the idol spot. The messiest part of all of this is, first, Lauren telling everybody, but second is the puppet master emailing Lauren after Nadia has gotten the idol. I don't want to, like, reveal who the puppet master is or anything like that, but do you guys know if the puppet master knew that a fake idol was in place of a real one, and that's why he did it, he or she?
Yeah, I mean, I can confirm this. So here's what happened. The puppet master emails Nadia. Nadia, not the master puppet master.
Right.
Nadia goes and gets the idol. The puppet master goes and checks the idol later that day, sees the fake idol, and is like, well, that's interesting. And realizes, well, to me, it's also like, it's the same idol that the master puppet master had sent to the puppet master. So they're like, so let's have some fun, and then sends it to Lauren.
Does the puppet master bully any other tribe, or is it just the Zaman tribe?
It's just Zaman.
Oh my god.
For now.
This is-
For now.
I really hope it's somebody actually on their tribe just fucking with their own tribe mates.
I mean, Parker is irate, huh? Parker is so furious. I was laughing my ass off, Govind. I mean, Parker killed me this episode. From telling, what did he tell Valen he's gonna vote her out? Like, Parker is a hot mess. He is a drama major for sure. I just, can you please talk to me more about Parker?
If you tell Parker that he's a hot mess, I don't think he'll believe you, but like his actions tell you otherwise, which is what makes Parker like brilliant as like especially a television character. What also like surprised me so much about just watching this episode in general is Parker says this stuff to Valen, but then Valen by the end of the episode is like, but Parker's so truthful. I respect that he told me all this stuff. So like I kind of like Parker again. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like this man is coming off as so truthful that even when he says he's not with you, like you want to now be with him. Like where is the logic in all of this? I couldn't follow that.
Also, like, it's a lie. Like, he voted for Valen the first time, but then he voted for Lauren. Like, okay, Parker, okay. Yeah, Parker and his honesty complex, big storyline this season. Big storyline.
I love that Ale kind of calls it out, right? That like it's like he's all over the place. He thinks he's telling the truth, but then he like does lie, and so you're like, wait a minute, like. But I love that. I love a hypocritical flaw in a character. You know what I mean? Like it's the perfect survivor characteristic, and it's not the end of the world. But I was so glad that like Parker wasn't somebody who was maybe getting voted out first, you know, because this needs to spiral. Exactly, like this needs to get worse and worse and worse. I need the edit, you know.
It will come, trust me.
Lee, who do you want to talk about on the Zaman tribe?
All of them.
All right, pick one. We'll get to all of them. Pick one.
Nice to know I was right about. Well, I just want to mention I was right that Lauren would go home first in this tribal. Sorry, Aaron. God, imagining picking a winner pick that goes home second. Ignores the fact that I picked a winner pick last season who went home second and was a remote student, so I should have known better. I mean, let's get AL out of the way. Why not?
Oh, Ale.
He's like doing so much to no result. To kind of no result. He's like, I came up with all this plan. It came my way, and he did none of the work. And it's like all Nadia, and I guess Ao's just kind of like the one taking credit for it.
Oh, Ale, this is what fascinates me as an editor, as AL, as a Survivor player. He is so freaking confident that like he did this. Like it's his plan. It's his move. I mean, and to some degree, the edit doesn't give him enough credit for like how much he was talking to Nadia and really convincing her, because there was a point where Nadia was like, well, I could just vote for AL. So it doesn't give him enough credit. However, it was his plan. Like he did come up with it. He did, kind of set all the stuff in motion, but he didn't have to do any of it, which is why it's like kind of funny. But he's like, and you'll see in the fallout of next episode, he is just elated that he pulled this off. Elated, like beyond. The Superman comments kill me. They really kill me.
Superman. Oh my god. I was rolling
More like
my eyes
Iron
so
Man.
much. But I love Ale. Like he's not like a jerk about things, but he is like, it's gonna be my way or the highway. But he has no idea that his way is just accidentally happening. It's incredible, and that's what I'm really looking forward to. And so I know Nadia mentioned it a little bit. Like I don't really think that Nadia was siding with the boys. I just think that what ended up happening is that Lauren said, "Well, sometimes they do boys versus girls, so we have to make sure that doesn't happen." And then the problem was that, Nadia and
It
Ale already
happened.
had a relationship, and that like this was forming, and this the alliance was there, and so it wasn't going to not happen. But poor Lauren. This is like, I don't know if the puppet master just wanted to send her home in particular, or like what the puppet master has against Lauren. But she tried her darndest this episode, huh?
Nothing. It's just that Lauren was the only other person who really like responded.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Parker, but like I don't know, like anybody who meets Parker is like, once Parker like has like a response, you're like, maybe I don't want to mess with Parker.
Just scared to mess with him.
Individual
I guess the
anymore.
question is, I think the question for me is, I think that Lauren went wrong sending the screenshot out to everyone. Govind, do you agree with me? Is that like the moment where she basically sealed her fate?
Yeah, I think it's that moment. I think it's also being quiet about stuff, saying like, "Hey, I don't have anything. Don't worry." And then while they're hanging out at their like tribe hangout, then it's like, "Guess what? I actually have a confession. I do have something," which then makes people even more distrusting of you, because you've now been on this train of like supposed honesty for so long, and then you're like, "JK, now I'm actually going to be honest with you," and you're like, "Okay, so what is really the truth, right?" And I don't think it helps that she's put her trust from day one into the people who are the most messy on her tribe. I think that's just luck of the draw for a lot of it. Like siding with AL and Nadia is never anybody's best case scenario, and she just happened to get herself in that boat.
Although to be fair, she doesn't have
yeah.
many options of non-messy people to align with.
I think she did do one good thing in the way of aligning with Valen.
Yeah.
I think Valen was kind of like straight shooter, like she's not going to do Lauren dirty. And I think it's kind of hard, and like Henry lives in Henryland at this point, where it's like you need to find a way to like connect with Henry, and it's going to be hard to do so just like out of the blue for no reason. So she did what she could, in my mind.
The craziest part about this whole thing, which there wasn't even a content about this, but it almost became Valen who went home, because at a certain point, Lauren was like, well, if it's Valen, I don't know if I'm going to try to go against the good of the group. And she almost voted for Valen herself. Like as she walked up to the paper, like she almost wrote down Valen's name. And so like, if she had done that, it's just crazy to me that Valen would have been out. And their whole plan.
A second
like
3-2-1 vote.
Yeah. So
I think it would have been a shame, because I really like Valen, and I want to talk about everything that Valen did this episode, because Valen is sort of getting put into situations where she is contributing to someone else's cacophony in a way. I like that her and Nadia were connecting a little bit. I like what Nadia did with Valen. But I also think that Valen is very smart and completely sort of sussed out, like, Lauren, what the hell are you doing? Anytime you send a screenshot, crap out that time, or like, look on Gmail, you can forward the email and delete the thing where it says what time it was sent. You can do that, guys. So stop sending screenshots with the time in it. But I'm curious, Shane, from your perspective, like, do you think that Valen was actively incorporating herself into the tribe, or was she sort of like stumbling into positions with other people that just liked her and brought her into things?
I think Valen at the beginning part of this had no idea what she was walking into. She really didn't watch Survivor before, so she really had no clue about like the level of relationships you need to form at the beginning of the game, which is why it was so easy for them to paint a target on her of like, okay, like nobody's really connected with Valen thus far just because she didn't know. I think this kind of wakes her up a little bit of like, oh shit, like I need to start interacting with people and playing the game. Do I think that she intentionally put herself in these positions? No. I think she just kind of stumbled into them and doesn't really know what's happening and is just confused. And I think that they took real advantage of her. And that's another big plot line. It's like, okay, like you just did all of this to like save this girl, but like at what cost?
It was pretty brutal overall. Lee, my question is like, who comes out best here? Is it Nadia? Yeah.
Her name was like the only one that was never mentioned at all this episode.
It's true.
It's like Nadia had all the power. Like she was in both alliances. She knew all the information. Nobody ever said her name is a consideration. She definitely came out best in this thing to go for Lauren each time. If Valen's going to feel on the outs, and the person she's going to go to is Nadia. Because she'll probably feel betrayed by the others. Unless she's just like so enthralled by Parker's honesty, she just goes to him. But I don't see a world where that happens. Although this season, common sense doesn't seem to be a thing, so maybe that could happen.
Not wrong. You're not wrong.
I feel like the best part of watching Valen and Nadia is just that, like, Nadia's doing these things like, oh, let's go look for the idol that's not there, and like all these things that are like really funny and would normally seem very mean, but I think it's genuinely because Nadia does want to incorporate Valen in some ways. She's just not going to tell her everything that's going on.
You mean Lauren?
Oh wait, they went together. Yes, I thought it was very sweet. Like that, she's like, I'll bring her along, and then we won't find anything, and then oh my god, like I thought that was like a hilarious, like, let me make an ally by lying to them, but also very nice. Like, let me incorporate someone. I don't know. Poor Lauren. Again, that's what I can't stop saying this episode is like Lauren was trying very hard to like secure allies, to be in a position where she was trusted by people, and she just kept fucking it up. And she couldn't make it happen.
Super fans are not good at the game.
I'm not sure if I'm fully on the same page there, Lee. I think like if you put Lauren on season 1's cast, I think she does quite well. Like she has a lot of really good game sense. I think it's just like everyone in season 2 is so intense and playing so hard from day one that like if you put her on a tribe, like put her on like OG Balder, like she's for sure outlasting like your winner pick Kevin. No offense to wonderful Kevin. And I think she makes it deeper in another season when compared to like this season where she just runs into the buzzsaw that is Nadia.
It's definitely fair. I also think that with Lauren, like this whole idol shenanigan, like what she really should have done is just seen it and said, that doesn't look like the idol I was sent. I think something is afoot. But she was so sort of like, I think, in her own headspace that she didn't have anyone that she actually trusted who could say to her, girl, this does not look like the same idol. And it just kind of got worse and worse from there. Govind, I agree with you that like because because the puppet master is controlling a lot of things, I think that normally people would go to Lauren for guidance if they were on a bigger tribe, a tribe of people who knew less. They would say, okay, what do we do here? And you can kind of see that's what Valen's doing. But the puppet master fucks so many things up that Lauren really overplays her hand in some ways, like you're saying, Lee, where like she thinks she knows what she's doing. But when we watch Survivor, we only see the 42-minute version of like the complicated social bonds that occur over time that solidify something for you. I thought she was very sweet on her way out too. Like, you know, Lawrence just like took it like a champ.
Yeah.
Like, could have been a lot worse. Also, Parker is hilarious. Again, Parker just like
I'm not saying
I'm so
Lauren's
silly.
bad at the game. I'm just using her as an example of like super. Yeah, I'm just using her as an example. It's like super fans really are not good at the game. Like even if you look at college and real Survivor, the super fans are usually never good. Even if they make it far, they don't make it far because they're good. This is just really because like I watch too many Survivors.
Okay, Shane and Govind, what else is there? Like, there was obviously this was a very dense episode. What else is there in this mix to discuss with what the choices everybody made? Basically, there's every single person.
I think that for me, the biggest thing that I just don't have time to highlight is just how many people are talking about the events cross tribes. Like, everybody is keeping each other updated on what's happening on the other teams. So, like, everybody knows at this point about the Puppet Master. They're all starting to hear about the Puppet Master. They're all learning about it. So, there's just really no time to, like, put that in there, in my opinion. And, like, there's really no time for me to go and talk about, like, how they all just, like, tricked Valen and then voted out Lauren in a lot of circumstances. Like, obviously, that's going to come up in, like, a little form because it has to in, like, future storylines. But just how many people are like communicating cross tribes and like really sharing information with one another. It's like, why are you telling everybody everything? Like, no, stop. I just don't. The number one mistake I see is like people like giving away all their information when they have no reason to. And that's what this cast does. They just blab their mouths because they feel like it.
What about you, Govind? What do you think?
None of them know how to shut up.
Yeah, my big thing here is like you have such interesting dynamics on each tribe right now where there's like a clear power person or a clear power like unit. Where like on Dorit, you see like it's Vivian and Ricky who are in some like charge, maybe Xavier's part of that group, you don't really know, right? You got the Bean Squad on the green side, and then you got like Nadia and Eyal on pink. Now, how does that all switch when like you now have a swap next episode? Are people who are on the bottom aware that they were on the bottom? Like Valen just got left out of stuff. Junique got left out of stuff. Like how do those things mix up? And especially with green, like are Tina and Ranjan even aware that they're not in part of the Bean Squad? Like you haven't had a tribal to like prove where those lines are drawn. So people are talking a lot. People are talking a lot cross tribally. But I think people are also more aware than people might be giving each other credit for, which results in, I'm sure we'll talk about what's on the horizon, but in insane next episode as well.
I think for me, like the one benefit that the Green Tribe has is that if you're somebody like Ethan and you're planning to maybe not work with Tina or Ranjan, and you get swapped into a situation where you maybe have a green majority or a good chunk of green, like then all of a sudden the door is open. That's the one benefit of voting. Obviously, the downside, as we know, is that you haven't drawn any lines in the sand. So I'm curious to see like how the Green Tribes fare, how their players fare versus the people who have had to make a decision and have had to vote somebody out. I can't wait to see it. So we're swapping into 2 tribes of 8, right? Am I bad at math? No, 2 tribes of 8.
Yeah.
Y'all are crazy. And there's another swap happening too, right? Or am I spoiling for another? Y'all are psycho.
No, he said last.
Well, the one thing that we said at the beginning of this season was that last season was great. But the one thing that was kind of disappointing was just like how original Ogun and original Baldur, like in one way or another, like ended up playing out. Like 3 of the 4 in the final 4 were OG Ogun, and like I don't know, that's like a little disappointing. So like we were like, all right, let's mix these people up. Let's see like who we can get talking to one another. And because there were so many relationships on this cast before we even started, we were like, okay, well, if we want peak mess TV, let's just switch them up, because more than likely one of them will end up together and they will have to navigate how to kind of hide or reveal their relationships, which, not saying that happens, but maybe it does, as Nadia already kind of alluded to. So yeah.
Lee, any other thoughts on the episode?
Oh, what is this swap going to be like? I was going to say strop.
This one was random. This one was random.
So it's not going to be like last season schoolyard picking.
Not this
I
time.
definitely do fear for the Green Tribe, because usually in tradition of Survivor, when a group hasn't been to a tribal and then they swap, they tend to easily turn on each other more, especially when they're the tribe that doesn't go to a single tribal council yet. So I do have a feeling a green person might be leaving next episode. I don't know which one, but I have like, it's definitely one of them is most like, get rid of Joe, gotta get I can't wait.
Well, there has been a ton of Puppet Master talk in the Discord. I read the message from B. Cromwell and my head was spinning and I still don't fully understand it. And I was like I wanted to write it down and map it all out, but then I was like, I'm not playing this org. Like I don't need to work this out. But next episode, guys, what do we have to look forward to in terms of like the chaos? Oh, actually, you know what, Govind, I want to talk about one more thing, which is how funny you were reading the votes. I know you put it in the YouTube comments, but just tell everyone again.
Yeah.
Well, so
first, when we were first filming it, we had no idea what the storyboard was going to be, right? So one thing that was in my head is like, when this actually comes out, are we gonna tell the viewer that Lauren's idol was fake? Are they gonna think that it was real? Like, how is any of this gonna happen, right? So my biggest thing there first was I wanted to make it seem as like, give us the option that if we were to like fully sell this idea of like the Lauren stuff being a blindside to everyone, we could have that. But then second, I just wanted to be an absolute like chaotic force and make Henry sweat as much as possible. That was the main thing in my mind. Like, I saw Henry just sitting there, and I know Henry's going to be fine by the end of this, but he was like worried out of his mind sitting in that seat. And I'm just like, everyone here, especially Eyal, Henry, and Parker, are like so confident that their plan is about to work out. Let's like let them sweat this out a little bit more than they need to. And just seeing Henry collapse in his seat right afterwards, I was just like, chef's kiss. That's wonderful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm a big Henry fan. I know that he doesn't say a lot, and I know that he's not doing much. But go on, girl, give us nothing. I love Henry.
The one thing I wish that maybe we had done was like past. We kind of, when there was a tie, we gave them like time to discuss. I wish we had done that here, just because I think that it would have been more interesting. But that was something that we decided would be like a rule going into the season. So yeah, we didn't end up doing that just because, I don't know, it typically doesn't happen, so we just didn't.
Yep.
I mean, there were a lot of ties last season.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, nobody flipped on any of those ties.
Shocker. Guys, this next episode, I can't wait. I think that what's so fun is like your teasers are always great. Like I know just from watching this episode that the next episode's going to be chaos. I know it from episode 1. I know it this time. Is there anything you can like say right away to tease what you have looking forward to?
Shane, can I say one thing before you hop in?
Yeah, you can say I'm hoping that it's actually going to be in there. But if
No,
it's
no,
not,
no. I'm not talking for context. I have not seen the episode myself. Shane has finished editing it and I'm going blind to try and be surprised myself. But what I will say is this, because I know for a fact it will not be in the episode because it's my own lived experience, is that I was so flabbergasted and confused by everything that happened before this council that I was pulled aside by Shane and one of our other exec producers, TJ, to brief me on how to do the question and answer period at the beginning of this next council, because I couldn't follow everything that was going on, like myself as a member of exec. So that just shows you, like, all power to Shane if he's made this into a good, like, concise narrative, because I myself living it could not follow what everybody was doing. It is wonderful.
let me tell you, I'm still, like, because of the nature of this episode, I'm actually still tweaking it just because it's so confusing even for me. And I think I've spent like maybe 20 plus hours on the narrative of this episode. Like it's a lot. Like it's just baffling to me. Like the amount of relationships that are out in the open after this next episode, it's a little concerning, and it honestly, as a producer, I was really concerned for a lot of people that I thought were going to go really far right away. And I was like, oh my God, like, are they screwed now? Like, what is happening? So it's definitely an eye opener. And I think everybody, like, it's one of those councils where everybody is just like dead silent. Like, you're just like, oh my God.
Everybody gets a vote.
Oh no. Well, on that note, I'll see you all next time on the Scotty Survivor Recap Podcast. Couple things. One, you guys are on Twitter, you're on Instagram, you're on YouTube. Subscribe, share the video, join us on the Survivor subreddit Discord to talk about Scotty Survivor. It's so much fun. Definitely tell your friends that this is a new exciting season of Survivor to start watching, considering that Australian Survivor sucked ass. They should watch something else for a change. And I also have to say that Live Reality Games is putting out the audio forms of podcasts. So if you don't have time to watch our YouTube video, or if you don't have like YouTube Premium and you can't close the video out, we are putting up the audio podcast. So check that out. Subscribe to us and give us a rating. I don't know. Yeah, everyone understands how to be nice to podcasters, but rarely does anyone ever do it. So please go do it. Go give Scotty Survivor and our videos a like. And thank you guys for being here, Lee, Govind, and Shane. It's always a pleasure. We'll be next week. Aaron will join us, and it's going to be a fun time. So see you all out there.